Hi everyone, Garry the Catholic rugby fan. Well, I'm excited to introduce to you my All Saints fantasy rugby team called the Great Clouds of Witnesses. So let's kick off with my number 15, the fullback. The protector and defender of the Catholic Church. The chief opponent of Satan, Saint Michael the Archangel. Saint Michael was captain of the good angels when they defeated Lucifer and the bad angels who refused to serve God. He is also the patron saint of those who are dying. At the hour of our death, Saint Michael, along with Mother Mary, will be beside us, encouraging us to ask for God's grace and forgiveness, our last chance at salvation. After we have passed on, our bodies return to the earth, but our souls live on. In Catholic tradition, Saint Michael will transport our souls to our particular judgment, our personal judgment, where we qualify for heaven, hell, or purgatory, a place of cleansing. Catholics believe in two judgments: our personal judgment and the final judgment, when our bodies and souls will once again unite, where Jesus will separate the sheep from the goats. In the final judgment, Saint Michael weighs souls based on their deeds during their life on earth. There's a lovely story told about Saint Michael. There was a rich and powerful man who never gave anything to the poor. He would chase them away if ever they came near his front door. One day, one of the beggars said to his companions, "What will you give me if the rich man gives me something today?" The other beggars laughed at him, but they made a wager. As he was knocking on the rich man's door, he arrived home with his servant, who was carrying a big bag full of loaves of bread. The rich man was so angry. He looked for a rock or stone to throw at the beggar, but there was none in sight. So he turned around and he grabbed one of the loaves of bread and he threw it at the beggar, who caught it and hurried back to his companions, showing them what he received. A few days later, the rich man got very ill and he had a dream. In this dream, he saw Saint Michael and Satan next to their scales. Satan was smiling because the rich man's evil deeds were piling up. Then Saint Michael noticed that the rich man gave a loaf of bread reluctantly to Christ. He put the loaf on the scale and it balanced all the bad deeds on the other side. Saint Michael, he sprinkled a few crumbs on the loaf of bread to save the soul. The rich man woke up and it changed his life, and he became a servant for the poor. Saint Michael, my number 15. And the childhood hero he reminds me of is the first attacking fullback of the 60s. You know, in those days, the main job of the fullback was to catch the ball and to kick it into touch and to tackle if necessary. But this fullback, he caught the ball a meter from his try line and he started to run with the ball. I'm speaking of the great Oswald de Villiers, the great Springbok number 15. He was educated at Dale College in King Williamstown, where I grew up. When H.O. was 5 years old, he went to a fancy dress party, and his mother dressed him up as a Springbok rugby player. And on the 15th of June, 1967, H.O. made his test debut in the green and gold jersey against Christian Dalhuis's Tricolours in Durban. The Springboks won 26-3. H.O. scored 11 points. There were 8 new caps in that test side. H.O. played 14 tests for the Springboks between 1967 and 1970. But his career was plagued with injuries. And after the 1969-70 tour, the demo tour to Britain and Ireland, he was forced to retire when he injured his leg seriously, his right leg. He later became a mentor for the great Springbok hero of the 2011 World Cup, Percy Montgomery. I will always remember H.O. as a player who liked to join the line, cause an overlap, and keep the ball in hand. The first attacking fullback. So guys, that's my number 15 of my All Saints Fantasy Rugby team called the Great Clouds of Witnesses. Henry Oswald de Villiers and St. Michael the Archangel. So until next time, I won't say goodbye, but I'll see you all in the Eucharist. Blessings from the Catholic rugby fan.